with my other guitar that has the strap, and I usually stand, I kind of vibe a little bit more, but I generally stay in the same spot, a solid square. I can't really do like pirouettes or anything around the stage, you know. I wish, I wish. So I actually need to. This is fairly new for me, this guitar, so I need to get one of the buttons for it. Yeah. Hi, everybody. We're live. Thank you so much to the Parlour and to Motif Magazine for having me. My name is Lauren King, and I'm here to sing you a few songs and talk a little bit about myself, and I'm so excited. So thank you again for having me. This first song is called Romeo, and these songs are all going to be off of my album that's coming out on July 25th on all the streaming platforms and everything, called The Wolf is Back. So yeah, this first one is called Romeo, and it's about a real-life romance, something that's better than anything that you would see in a romantic comedy or something like that. So it's kind of a real love song and being in love with someone who is human and totally normal. So I hope you guys like it. Excuse me if I don't say what I mean, or start to stutter when I speak. My head and my heart's never been in the same key. Lay the cards on the table, 3 of spades, and baby, my shipwreck's 2 miles away. King of hearts calling on my bluff, boy, I like this one. So I whisper, do you want me? And all the crazy mess I make. I'm no Juliet, if you want that I should go. Till he says no, sweetheart, I am no Romeo. He had no Romeo, but a sailor. A smooth black shoes are playing James Taylor. He had no liar, there's a fire that can light me up by day and night. He had no Romeo, oh no, he is mine. No. Breaking hearts for the last year or so, leading to love as quickly as I go. Greedy and needy, I cling to my heart before I let you break my heart. Standing in the doorway, amber eyes, hands shaking soft and slow. Never felt quite like this before. He's no Romeo, sweetheart, you are so much more. He had no Romeo, but a sailor. The smooth black shoes are playing James Taylor. He had no liar, there's a fire that can light me up by day and night. He had no Romeo, oh no, here's mine. Oh. No ambition like his. God only knows what I could give. Then a silly girl with unruly curves, but boy, am I in love with no Romeo. Ah, he's a sailor. A smooth black shoes are playing James Taylor. He had is mine. All right, everybody. So this next song is the title track of the album, and it is called The Wolf is Back. So this song is called The Wolf is Back. And this is about when you're making one of those big game time decisions about your life and you have no idea what the turnout is going to be, so you're kind of silently praying, dear God, I hope this works out. For me, it was deciding to go to music like full-time instead of just part-time and on the side. And it's been working out okay, so I hope you like this song and you can kind of connect to it a little bit. This is called The Wolf is Back. Oh, mother, 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 I think I broke my own heart, breaking his. And oh, mother, 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 is there any kind of medicine for this? For all the heartache and all of the mistakes, is it too late to come back to myself yet? That I tried, and oh, love, 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 because you're so familiar, I say goodbye, 'cause I'm leaving for a while to do what I don't know, but if there's a God out there somewhere, could you please some kind of sign that what I'm doing alright. If there's a full moon out tonight, let it bring me back to my sweet childhood. Your wolf's back in the woods. Tell me, what do you see? 'Cause all I see is the worst. But only one, I don't feel like covering up all of this hurt. Tell me it's worth it, 'cause if I'm burning, I will send a flare out there. Could you please some kind of sign that what I'm doing alright? And there's a full moon out tonight, let it bring me back to my sweet childhood. Your wolf's back in the woods. Yeah. Tell me this pain is a blessing, and it's all a lesson. Tell me this pain is a blessing, and it's all a lesson. I just got one question, could you please give me some kind of sign that what I'm doing alright? And there's a full moon out tonight, let it bring me back to, let it bring me back to everybody. Thank you so much again for having me. Thank you, guys. So this next song is called Wild Woman. It's one of my favorites. And this is about kind of how you hear a lot of songs about women being independent. And usually in those cases, it's about not needing a man, being single. And that is totally, totally true. But I kind of wanted to write a song about someone who is an independent woman, but also doesn't know how to fall in love, because I feel like falling in love has some sort of vulnerability. So it's kind of about dealing with being strong and independent versus being okay with being vulnerable with someone you love. So this is Wild Woman. I hope you guys like it. I run like the wind, dance to the music on the lake. I spin in the ring of fire I've made. I look over my shoulder, 'cause I know the king's way. Silver and gold turns into a lonely cage. I'm a wild woman, I'm a wild woman. I see him once again, he knows I'm hiding. He thinks he's a threat, little does he know I'm a wild woman, I bet my teeth. And when I bite you, I know it'll sting. What if I can't change? What if I can't change? What if I don't know how to love you in the right way? I'll take a deep breath and I'll howl anyway, 'cause I can't change. As I hide behind the strongest tree line, I hear him whistling my name. How on earth does he see me? Why isn't he scared? Wild women must learn, but I was never prepared. So what if I can't change? What if I can't change? What if I don't know how to love you in the right way? I'll take a deep breath and I'll howl anyway, 'cause I can't change. Oh, it's tragic. His love is like magic. He lets his armor fall. I can't help but growl. And he's painted in leaves of gold. But what happens when my wife takes a hold of me? What if I can't change? What if I can't change? What if I don't know how to love you in the right way? Oh, I'll take a deep breath and I'll howl anyway, 'cause I can't change. I can't change. I can't change. Thank you so much, guys. All right, I got 2 songs left for you guys. This is Isn't It Nice? And it's honestly about, I guess it's a song about an older woman who's kind of had a tough life. And I feel like on a weeknight, she would show up at the parlor in the corner of the bar, sort of like a regular. And she's kind of looking at this younger version of herself and thinking, oh, isn't it nice to be in love? So this is called Isn't It Nice? I hope you guys like it. Another shot, another tequila gin, another hit until I forget. Another night, another bar, another boy. If you got the hammer, he's got the heart, so you can break it like a toy. Go on and break it like a toy heartbreaker. Looks like you found another one to turn on, turn up and get gone before the job is done. You turn around and you're on the run. I took the keys and hightailed it for the water. Don't you know I've been trying to forget you? Ooh, ooh. Oh, when you're young, let the waves crash down on my soul. I'm holding my heart like a loaded gun. Oh, isn't it nice to be innocent and in love? Another burn, the same scar I'm trying to hide. What I've been doing ain't working right. Oh, my pride still feels the sting. So I sing, is this the one? The smooth talking sailor. Can you soothe it? Can you cure me of all I've done? He's not you, my baby. He's not you, my heartbreaker. Looks like you lost another one. Aren't you tired? Aren't you asking yourself when it's all done? Why, oh, why do I run? No, 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 I took the keys and hightailed it for the water. Don't you know I've been trying to forget you? Ooh, ooh, oh, and you let the waves crash down on my soul. I'm holding my heart like a loaded gun. Oh, isn't it nice to be innocent and in love? I took the keys, I tailed it for the water. Don't you know I've been trying to forget you? No, 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 no. Let the waves crash down on my shoulder, holding my heart like a loaded gun. Oh, isn't it nice to be innocent and in love? Oh, baby, isn't it nice to be innocent and in love? All right. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you again to the Parlour for having me tonight. This place is awesome, so I can't wait to come back when things are up and running. And, oh, I'm psyched. This is awesome. You can already tell the vibes in here. They're ready to go for spring, yeah. And also, huge thanks to Motif for having me today. I'm so excited to show you guys this album. We're working really hard on it for the past year. And this is going to be my last song today. This is called World I've Got. And I guess this is the acoustic version of this song, because on the album we have like a fiddle player, a lap steel player, and it sounds like a real barn party. So I hope you like the acoustic version of this. This is called World I've Got. And I wrote it about when I decided to go to music full time, and I kind of realized that writing was the thing that I was doing. And at the end of the day, when there was, you know, so many different rules and restrictions, I just knew that music was the only thing I had. So I hope you like it. dance with me in the canyon. He might not make the bad go away, but I'm offering a healthy distraction, saying I'd love it if you could stay. And just one moment I'm wishing that time could stop. Darling, swim with me in the river, rest your bones a little while. It might not be here forever. I see you running for miles and miles, and I hear behind me a voice like a gunshot, telling me you are the only world I've got. 'Cause when the stained glass is suddenly broken and your hand's the only thing I'm holding, with your looks that could kill and kisses that go right for my heart, I'm telling you, my darling, you are the only world I've got. The cold weather's coming in, but you keep my cheeks just as rosy when you bathe me in golden light, in the bonfire as you hold me, making a shitty Wednesday feel like I hit the jackpot. 'Cause baby, you are the only world I've got. 'Cause when the stained glass is suddenly broken and your hand's the only thing I'm holding, with your looks that could kill and kisses that go right for my heart, I'm telling you, my darling, you are the only world I've got. When the stained glass is suddenly broken and your hand's the only thing I'm holding, with your looks that could kill and kisses that go right for mine. 'Cause baby, you are the only world I've got. 'Cause when the stained glass is suddenly broken and your hair's the only thing I'm holding, with your looks that could kill, the kisses that go right to my heart, baby, you are the only world I've got. Baby, you are the only world I've got. Thank you so much for having me, everybody. I can't wait to chat. Thank you.
And we're back with Lauren King. This is Motif Between the Notes at the Parlour, sponsored by Trinity Beer Garden, Bolt Coffee, and Dash Bicycles, and R1 Entertainment Center. And Lauren, thank you very much for that performance, and thanks for being with us here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
So you're from Rhode Island?
Yes, I am. Smithfield, Rhode Island.
Smithfield, Rhode Island. And you grew up there?
I sure did. Yes, yes.
What genre would you put your music in?
I would kind of say country alternative, almost.
Okay.
I like a lot of folk and blues influences. I started in country, and then people still like to call me country because they see the big hair, the guitar, and the songwriting aspect, so they go to country. And in all honesty, I would say acoustic folk pop, but people would also put it under country. So I'm usually like, if you like to listen to my music and you call it country, I'll be country. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of storytelling in your music.
Yes.
Which I associate with country, but also with folk.
Definitely.
Is that what drew you to this kind of performance, or?
Yeah, I would say it's usually, I like to write about things that I notice and think about, especially because I loved philosophy when I was in college, so it was a lot about observations and how people feel, and I wanted to look into how to write and speak up a little bit about how I felt about certain things. So that's when I really started songwriting, because I wanted to come up with these stories. But they also helped me too, because they're a lot about self-reflection and seeing the good and the not so good and kind of the ugly, and it was a way for me to kind of learn from my behaviors. So it was it helped me, and in that I was really just hoping to help other people too, because I feel like a lot of things people don't like to talk about, I want to write about, so they can listen to it and, help. That's the goal.
That's a cool motivation.
Thank you.
And so a lot of your stories are drawn from real experience and
Yeah, it's kind of real experiences, and then I kind of cover it up in a fun sort of movie-like kind of scene, so it's not just me chilling in Smithfield, Rhode Island. It's, somewhere in a bar, somewhere by the beach, or something like that. So it changes in the setting. Yeah.
Okay. And what's your process for that? Do you wait for impactful things to happen to you and then write about them, or how does that work?
So it's kind of, it's sort of, usually as far as I write, I come up with songs with the hook line first, the fancy song, I have a hook line, but it's usually I come up with some sort of hook line, and then I'll kind of have a bunch of little song seeds, and then I'll have that hook line, I'll put it to the melody, and then I'll usually write the story around it. So as of right now, especially with the new album coming out, I kind of thought of it as a long movie. So first I had The Wolf Is Back, and then I thought about, okay, if I am in the woods, how did I get there? Who comes in? What kind of process do I go through? And where do I end? So it was just more so about this really long movie, and then trying to fill in the pieces with a bunch of hook lines and catchy phrases, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are 9 songs, correct?
9 songs,
and
yes.
Do they tie together? There's a through line if we look for it?
I'd like to say
You
so.
see it, yeah.
I don't think anybody would really notice, to be honest, but in my head, yes. Yeah, I think it's a lot about being lost in the woods, and then, you come to certain realizations as you're walking through, and then the way that I had it in my mind was it would start in the woods and end at the ocean. And there's a really special song to me called The Boston Song, which is on there, and it's kind of about ending it on the water and overlooking and seeing the Boston skyline, which is like also on the album cover. So I'm so excited. I hope people pick up on that, but if they don't, I just hope they like the songs. But yeah, in my head it all ties together.
Cool. Yeah. It's your first album, right?
So this is actually technically my second album.
Okay.
I had an album when I was about 17 years old that I came out with, and it's so funny because I'm sure with your work and anybody's creative work, you look back on really old stuff and you're like, wow, that's out there. And it's so funny because it's just my face on the cover, and I feel like a Cabbage Patch Kid, and it's so funny. But that was an album that I wrote of songs, and it's so funny because I feel like this one in a lot more ways is a little bit more professional. I had more say in the production of it. I got to produce a lot of parts of it, so it really came together like a puzzle, and I was just so happy to have a hand in doing that. So it was really cool, really fun. So I would say yes, first professional one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I know what you mean. I'll look at a motif from last month and be like, that
You've grown.
So 2020.
You've grown since then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Wolf Is back.
The Wolf is Back.
Where did it go?
I don't even know, man. I don't know. I think it was a lot about not really knowing where my voice was, and it was so funny because there were a lot of people, like my parents, my mom and dad, my producer and manager now, Jay Capaldi. They were the ones who kept pushing me, especially during quarantine, to go towards music as a career. Because when I graduated from college with 2 degrees in music and philosophy, I would tell adults it was 2 financial negatives put together to make a positive. So I didn't really know what I was doing. I was working part-time. And then I came to Jay with this idea that I wanted to come out with some sort of EP. And I showed him The Wolf is Back. And he was like, I think we should make a whole album. And what was supposed to be just this little project turned into a 1.5 years worth of really hard work. And it's really about finding that person inside of me, because I kind of spent a lot of time going with the flow, and I still had music, but I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with it. But it's kind of really about taking that charge of your life, because you're the one who's making the decisions for you, right? So it was, I don't think the wolf was ever around, but I think it was chilling, but now it's here.
Now it's back.
Now it's back, yeah.
Was there a second choice that you were weighing, or it sounds like the decision to go into music full time was a significant
there wasn't really. Yeah, I knew that music would be a big part of my life. I graduated with the intention of maybe doing music therapy, going into some sort of social work, but I just kind of realized when I write songs and sing them to people, the connection is just so much more immediate and it's much stronger, and I just love that about it. And it's picked up a lot, thank God, and all clear skies ahead. So we're full steam ahead, my dude. Yeah.
How have you found the country music and or folk music, the scene in Rhode Island? I mean, I know it's been not there for the last year. But
it's in my perspective, it's been really cool to see restaurants having a goal of including a bunch of different acts, which is awesome because it gives someone like me the opportunity to check out a bunch of different places and kind of be always somewhere new, and also to give people a chance to get back in the scene. Luckily for me, I had probably last summer I had 1 weekly gig. It was a safe one, it was a constant. And then this year I'm like fully booked for the summer, and I did not at all expect that, and I'm super, super lucky, and I'm like a part of a band too, which is awesome. So I couldn't be more happy to see things change like that, and it's been really exciting, really exciting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Where was the weekly gig?
So the weekly gig was at Country Kitchen in Smithfield.
Okay.
Yep, which was originally a breakfast place, and then they took the parking lot. They were so smart because during COVID they decided to clear out the parking lot, put in tables, and start making a clam shack, and now they have a barbecue smoker. So they were so smart about doing that. So it's really just developed so well. So I'm super psyched for them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite places that you have been performing where people might catch you?
Ooh, I do love Finn's Harborside, East Greenwich. It is such a blast. The wait staff there is so nice, and it's absolutely beautiful. You get to watch the yachts go by and be like, "Can I get a ride, please?" As you sing. So it's beautiful there. It's a really great atmosphere. And there's also Black Oak in Coventry, which is so nice. I love the acoustics in there personally, but also it's a great place to eat because it's that home-style American food, but it's so good. It's awesome. I get the same thing there every time, so the waitresses know exactly what I want when I leave. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite meal?
Turkey and brie on a gluten-free bun with sweet potato fries. That is the constant, so good. I highly recommend.
Okay.
Check it out. Check it out.
There you go.
Yeah.
Tell me a little about the band.
So the band, yes, that is Closing Time, and they're based out of Boston, and I'm so excited because I didn't even expect this offer to come through. I was planning on just doing my own solo gigs for a while, but it's a huge wedding band based out of Boston, and we are the Closing Time Northeast branch, which goes from Maine to New York to do a whole bunch of rock classics. And the first rehearsal that I sat in as a lead singer for this band, it was like I Will Survive, Gloria Gaynor. It was old time rock and roll. It felt like Christmas to me because I got to sing lead on all of these classic, amazing songs and really just rip it. And I never had an opportunity like that before. It's always been like me and my guitar. So to be with a band of really experienced musicians and generally older than me was a huge honor. So I am so, so excited. And we have our first show on Sunday, so I'm so pumped.
All right.
So pumped, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And your vocals only, or are you also playing guitar on that?
So there would be a few songs that I play guitar on, like Wagon Wheel, classic, you know.
Yeah.
But mostly I'm a lead singer and MC for the band. Okay. So it's really exciting. We're pumped.
You do other instruments though, right?
I do. So I play mainly guitar, vocals, and piano. And then I've also had experience in mandolin and cello, and that was when I was growing up, and I was just kind of trying a whole bunch of stuff, so I got to learn the basics on that. But now I especially teach vocals, guitar, and piano. It's been really fun. It's made me a lot better at it too. It's crazy.
Teaching has, you mean? Or
yeah, I think so. Teaching, especially with piano. When I first started working at this music school, I was like, I don't know if I can teach these kids piano when I'm kind of good enough to play for myself and sing. And my manager was like, no, you got this. You can do this. And I was surprised. I was like, wow, this is actually really cool because you get to learn as you're teaching too. So it was really cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Tell us about the finger picking. 'Cause that was
Oh, finger picking. Yeah, I
marvelous.
love. Thank you. I love James Taylor. So I remember when I was probably about 15 or so, and I was going to the music complex in Smithfield with my guitar teacher who now lives in Nashville, and I miss him so much because he was the one who introduced me to finger picking a lot. And it was one of those things where I kind of realized if you have the right chord on your left hand, it doesn't really matter what you play, what string you play on your right, but it's more so if you keep the rhythm. And it's so much fun because you start to keep rhythm with yourself, and you get to pick out these little melodies and songs, and it's kind of once you get the hang of it, it's sort of like a flow, and it is so much fun. It just makes the guitar a little bit more dynamic, gives it a little bit more texture, so it perfectly fits for my folk vibe. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us about your nails?
Oh my god, you know what, Mike, I would love to. So
I don't know if you can
yes, here's
remember.
the claws. So I have one claw hand and one nub hand. And my students especially like to make fun of me because when I'm talking or doing something, they'll look and they'll kind of go like, why do you have long nails on one hand? And you also don't want to be that guy and be like, I play guitar. So no, you don't want to do that. So I'm usually like, oh, well, you know, I like to finger pick, so I usually have to keep this side long, and you especially have to keep this hand short. You always have to keep the left hand short because you want to press down the strings right. Because if you let these grow out, they get twangy and weird and gross. So I always call it the claw side and the nub hand. So yeah, it depends on what kind of knife you want to use, I guess. But yeah, yeah.
Wow. Tell me a little about, you have other musicians on The Wolf is Back.
Yes, I do.
How did you
Yeah.
curate that? Who are they? Were you in the studio with
Absolutely.
them, or were they all?
Yeah, so a few of them I got to meet in person. I have Kathy, who plays the fiddle. There's Vinny Bacano, who does the drums. He's great. He's always been really, really talented drummer. They're all generally so much more experienced than I am, and I really can't. I was shocked to hear about these musicians who wanted to be a part of it, so it was really awesome to see. Those were the two that I got to meet in person and hang out with a little bit, tell them about the songs and have some input. There were a few that we were able to use COVID to our advantage a little bit because all of these touring musicians who had so much experience and who had so much talent to spare, we reached out to them because if they're not touring and they're sitting at home and we have nothing else to do, we just wanted to reach out to as many people as we could. So it was crazy to see Darius Rucker's lap steel player was interested in our album, and it was awesome to hear him. And then we got a lot of musicians off of soundbetter.com, so I would usually listen to a few. I would pick one, and then what would happen is it's sort of like a puzzle almost when you're producing, because it's like, okay, I could really hear a piano playing these notes, and I would kind of pluck out the notes, or a French horn, or whatever it called for, or cello, and I would make the notes, and we would send it, and then they would send it back to us, and we would put it in the song. So it was really cool to use technology and the not so much busyness of COVID to be able to use really experienced musicians. So it really worked out so well. It really came together. So lucky for that. So lucky. Yeah.
That's a very 2020 way of composing an album.
It is, and I didn't even realize it either. But thank you. Thank you.
Interesting.
Thank you very much.
And this is almost not an obligatory question, but COVID has affected everyone for the last year.
Yes.
How did that affect your
Yes.
You've dropped some hints about that, but how did that affect your music making?
Yeah, so I kind of, looking back now, I realized I took it as sort of a musical sabbatical, I guess, because that was the time when I wrote the album. I started my own business under Lauren King Music LLC, and then I started working with other musicians. I started working for other musicians, so if a band needed a backup vocalist, I would fill in for them, and I would do that.
That's not supposed to happen.
That's okay. I'm just happy it wasn't me, so it's all good. It's all good. Dad?
Yeah.
No worries. But yeah, it was really, I took some time to really crank down, think about what I wanted to do once the world opened back up. So, because I did not want to think about the world shutting down. I wanted to be prepared for when it did come back, because I knew that all of these people who I could be a part of and who I could help out were sitting at home. So that was the time when I went on Facebook. I would go on Facebook Lives twice a week, every single week.
Wow.
And it helped out a lot, because it was a lot of like my parents' friends who would share it with their friends, and it was a whole new community of people that I never knew before. So it was, by the time things have started to open back up, I had already gotten in contact with a lot of people that I wanted to see in person. So it was
You built a digital fan base.
Yeah. So looking back now, it was kind of really good, because I'm definitely the type to be all over the place. I feel like anybody creative is just a cotton ball bouncing around all the time. So it was kind of, it really worked out well, because I just had nothing else to do than work on my own stuff. So it worked out. Yeah. Works out.
Now that it's becoming an option again, how do you feel? How does live performance for you compared to the writing process?
Yeah, live performance has been great. I usually do. It's definitely weird, because I'm used to having gigs where I play mostly covers, and I'm trying to get used to that whole confidence thing where you say, this is a song that I wrote, this album is coming out, please listen to it, you can check out all the accounts, and that whole spiel.
Yeah.
And because I'm used to playing, Billy Joel, Elton John, James Taylor, Taylor Swift, of course. And so, I'm trying to get into that vibe of the confidence, because usually I'm like, I have a few originals if that's okay, stuff like that. So it's definitely different, but luckily from the Facebook Lives, it kept me on my game as far as performance goes, because I've noticed, and I've been talking to a lot of musicians who I'm really close to, and they say like, gigs and stuff, the stamina, we got to get it back up. It's not really there anymore. But it's kind of cool to see how I had the lives, because you always have to be on your skill, and you have to cover the awkward silences. I wasn't used to that before either, because you always had people clapping, talking, do whatever they wanted, and you're used to being in the background. So it was really good training practice for me now. So the gigs have just been like, I just look at them as so much fun now, because it's like I get to do this again. So it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the most awkward part about this, I feel, is that when you perform and then there's no applause.
Yes, you have to fill in the awkward silence. Yes, I liked the applause, though. I really appreciated that. I really did.
Our pleasure.
I really did, yeah.
Super. So you mentioned that you're booked for the summer. Are there some upcoming gigs where people could catch you? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have.
Tell them.
Yes, hello. I have a lot of gigs coming up at Country Kitchen in Smithfield. And then I also play at a few Saturdays at Finn's Harborside in East Greenwich. I also have a gig with my band, Closing Time. That is on Sunday, and that's on Lawn on D in Boston. That one's kind of far away from Rhode Island, but that's okay. And then I also have, I play at Black Oak in Coventry the second Friday of every month. But if you want to check out any of the events so you can keep it saved and you know what time and the details, that's on laurenkingmusic.com under the events if you ever want to check it out. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you have, and The Wolf is Back drops on July 25th?
Yes, July 25th is our release party.
Awesome.
I'm so excited.
All right.
So
Also,
excited.
laurenkingmusic.com.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for the time. Again, this has been Between the Notes with Motif at the Parlour, sponsored by the Parlour, R1 Entertainment Center, Bolt Coffee, Trinity Beer Garden, and Dash Bicycles. Thank you very much.
Thank you.